In a village nestled between towering mountains and deep forests lived a young woman named Elara. The village had been plagued by an endless summer. No rain, the crops were withering, and the rivers were dry. The villagers had tried everything, but nothing worked. Elara, though, had always felt that something magical might exist in the mountains, something that could restore balance to their land. One evening, after a fierce storm, Elara set out into the forest, following a mysterious flickering light. The light led her to a large ancient tree, where she discovered a broken star glowing faintly beneath its roots. The star's blue glow was weak, as if it were barely holding on to its power. Elara felt an inexplicable pull toward it, and she carefully picked it up, feeling a strange connection between herself and the star. Could this be the answer? That night, Elara dreamed of a hidden garden in the mountains. In the dream, she stood on the edge of a cliff, gazing down at a magical garden filled with glowing trees, flowers that sparkled like stars, and a crystal-clear pool at the center. A voice echoed in her mind. "This is the garden of the broken star. The star you carry is the key to restoring balance. But you must choose. Will you save your village or protect the garden's magic?" Elara woke with a start, her heart racing. She knew the dream was more than just a vision. It was a message. The garden, the star, everything was real. She had to find it, and she had to make the choice the voice had spoken of. The next morning, Elara packed her belongings and set off toward the mountains. The journey was challenging. Elara crossed rushing rivers, climbed steep cliffs, and passed through dark forests. The star in her pouch grew warmer with every step, almost as if it was guiding her. She didn't know how long the journey would take, but she felt an unshakable determination to reach the garden. On the third day of her journey, Elara found the garden. It was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The air was filled with magic, and everything glowed with an ethereal light. The trees shimmered with golden orbs, and the flowers sparkled in the moonlight. At the center of the garden was a pool so clear it reflected the stars above. Elara knelt beside the pool, holding the broken star in her hands. The voice spoke again. "To restore balance, you must make a choice. If you use the star to save your village, the magic of this garden will be lost forever." Elara stood frozen, overwhelmed by the decision before her. The garden's magic was ancient and powerful, and it was clear that its balance was connected to the land's well-being. But the village was dying. The crops were failing, the rivers were dry, and the people were on the brink of despair. Elara knew she couldn't ignore the suffering of her people. With a deep breath, Elara stepped forward and gently placed the star into the pool. As soon as it touched the water, a brilliant light exploded from the pool and the sky above darkened. Elara felt a powerful surge of magic wash over her, and within moments, rain began to pour from the sky. The dry earth drank in the water eagerly. The crops began to swell and the rivers started to fill again. But as the garden's magic began to fade, Elara felt a deep sadness. The light from the pool dimmed, and the flowers and trees started to lose their glow. The garden was losing its magic, and Elara knew she had made a sacrifice. She stood silently, watching the garden's magic fade, but she also felt peace. The village had been saved. The balance had been restored to the land. Elara made her way back to the village, the rain still falling around her. By the time she arrived, the rivers were flowing again, the fields were lush with crops, and the villagers were celebrating. Elara was hailed as a hero, but she kept the secret of the garden to herself. She never told anyone about the choice she had made or the garden she had found. To the villagers, It was just the rain that saved them. But Elara knew the truth. As the years passed, the village flourished, and Elara grew old. Every time she looked up at the stars, she remembered the magical garden and the sacrifice she had made. She knew that the magic of the garden had been worth the life it gave back to her people. The stars in the sky shone brighter to her than ever before, a reminder of the balance she had helped restore.